y'all, it's Casey with Russo Resells. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Casey. I am a full-time online reseller and I sell on platforms such as eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, and Curtsy. Today is Friday, June 19th, and we last left off on Tuesday, June 16th. When we left off that day, I had 5 more sales, and then Wednesday, June 17th, I also had 5 sales. Yesterday, Thursday, June 18th, I had 2 sales, and it's about 10 o'clock in the morning right now, and I've already had 1 sale. And I do apologize if it seems like I'm a little out of breath. Unfortunately, contrary to how I look, I do not feel all that great. I've been running a fever, and yeah, it's just been a nightmare. I've been coughing everywhere. It's a whole thing, and I might be pausing this video a lot just to get my cough attack under control so you guys don't have to witness that. And it's just, one of those things as a reseller, as a business owner. Unfortunately, life goes on with or without us, and that's the same with my business. And I really hate to not show you guys what has sold. So I'm going to try to get through this as best as I can. So let's go ahead and hop into the sales. The first item to sell on Tuesday is by Eileen Fisher. I did get this at a $2.99 Salvation Army sale. It is like a coral trim pink knit tunic blouse, or I just want to say actually it's a blouse. And although I didn't have the materials nor the size tag, I did want to go ahead and get it because I did Google Lens it at the store, and it is 100% linen, so that is fantastic. I did price it at $25 on Poshmark, and I received an offer of $19, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $3.80, and I turned $3 into $15.20. Very happy with that. Now, the next item to sell is by Travis Matthew, and this is a pair of nice golf outdoor shorts. It is a purple and black striped short. I originally got these for my father-in-law to try on, but the purple was just a little too much for him, so he gave them back to me, and I did go ahead and list them. I put them up on eBay for $27.99 plus $5 ship, and a buyer came in and used my 19% off coupon that I have running in my eBay store. They paid $22.64 plus $5 ship. It cost me $6.95 to ship. I did have them promoted, so those fees were 88 cents. My fees to eBay were $4.14, and I'm not sure if I said this, but I did pay about $4 for those at a half off Salvation Army sale, so I turned $4 into $15.75. This next item to sell I also got at a half off Salvation Army sale. It is by Ralph Lauren. This is a 1X, very earthy tone, geometric print, abstract, deep V side ruche midi dress. A lot of keywords going on there, but absolutely gorgeous. And for only $4 at a half off Salvation Army sale, I simply could not say no to picking this up. I usually pass on a lot of Ralph Lauren pieces now, but I got that about a year and a half ago, so it was time to move out of my store. I did have the price drop to $35. I had it priced at about $40 to $50, I want to say originally. And my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers of 28. One of those likers did counter at 20, and because I have had this for so long, I did decide to go ahead and accept that. My fees to Poshmark were $4, and I turned $4 into $16. Very happy that is going to be used again. Now, the next pair of items to sell is a pair of shoes. These are by the brand, let me see if I can find it, if it's on the bottom. You might not be able to see, but it's called Aloha's. And these are a very trendy shoe brand. These are like a taupe suede upper with this cute little lace detail. And these are in pretty great condition on the bottom, and they do have a little wear to the top, but I think that's kind of how they are meant to look. So these are coming from my sister. She had asked me to sell a couple of items from her own personal closet that she was no longer using, and those happened to be one of them. I did price them at $100, and my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to Likers on Poshmark of $80, and one of those Likers did accept. Our fees to Poshmark were $16, and I did end up giving my sister the majority of this sale. I basically told her I would take, a portion to maybe buy myself a matcha or something like that, because it is my sister and I don't necessarily like to take a big portion of what she gets, even though I am technically selling them for her. But whatever, long story short, she ended up with $50 and I went ahead and took 14, which I think is really great, and I am very happy to move those along. Now, the last item to sell on Tuesday is a pair of mini Melissas. There is the brand, and it is also on the bottom of the sole. These are a pair of rubber ballet flats with bows on the top. Absolutely adorable. And these are coming from my aunt. I did price them at $29.99 plus Depop's shipping, and I did receive an offer of $21 plus Depop shipping, and I think that they still have their free shipping going on. And because I've had these listed for almost 2 years now, I did decide to go ahead and accept that. Our fees to Depop were $1.21. My aunt left with $11.87, and I made a profit of $6.71. And I think she did thrift these for herself. So very happy that she was able to resell them technically. Now we're heading into Wednesday's sales. So the first item to sell is this pretty basic white pleated tennis dress. And it doesn't have the tag, but it has the hit right here. This is coming from my tennis teammate who does consignment with me. Now, the back of this item did have a few blue spots to it, so I did go ahead and disclose that, and I priced it a little lower than comp suggested. I priced it at $59.99 plus $10 ship on eBay, and a buyer came in and offered us $40 plus $10 ship, which I thought was extremely reasonable, and I did go ahead and accept. It cost us $6.37 to ship. Our fees to eBay were $7.37. She left with $21.76, and I made a profit of $14.50. That item was probably listed for only a week or two, so great turnaround time. Now the next item to sell is by Nip Tuck Swim. And at first I was a little skeptical about picking this up, but after looking up comps in the store, I decided for only $5 at my local Savers, it would be worth the pickup. It is the cutest bralette one piece with all of these anchors on it, and it does have that side ruching, so it makes it extremely flattering when you put it on. Absolutely love the novelty print, and just overall in great condition for a swimsuit. So I did price this according to comps on eBay for $29.99 plus $7 ship. A buyer came in and used my 19% off coupon, and they paid $24.29 plus $7 ship. It cost me $6.95 to ship. I did have it promoted, so those fees were exactly $1. My fees to eBay were $4.64, and I turned $5 into $18.70. Very happy with that. I'm happy that it is selling for this summer season, so I don't have to wait until next summer. Now this next item is by J. Jill, their Love Linen line, which I absolutely love picking up. This is a navy blue 100% linen open front cardigan, and it does have pockets. This I actually got at a little mom and pop thrift store in the next city over to me for about $5, and I was happy to pay that because anything J. Jill Love Linen sells very well for me. I did price it at $30, and my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to Likers of 24 on Poshmark. One of those Likers did counter at 20, which I gladly accepted. My fees to Poshmark were $4 and I turned $5 into 16. Fortunately for you guys, I can edit out this video, but I've had at least 20 coughing attacks and thankfully you guys did not have to witness that, and we are almost through all of our orders. So very happy with that. I absolutely love being here with you guys, but I just want to go lay in bed and not come out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the sales. So the next item to sell is by Toomey. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but this actually comes from my father-in-law. It is a kind of orange nylon utility bag. Just maybe he was going to travel and just needed a lightweight like briefcase bag, and like very casual at that. In this house, we absolutely love Toomey. So I did go ahead and look up comps, and I priced a little lower because that obviously has some wear. And I priced it at $74.99 plus $15 ship. A lovely buyer came in and used my 19% off coupon, and they paid $62.74 plus $15 ship on eBay. It cost me $15.75 to ship. I did have it promoted, so those fees were $2.38. My fees to eBay were $10.47, and I turned a free to me item into $47.14. Very happy with that sale because although that item is used, it still has a ton of life left in it, and I'm absolutely loving the fact that someone can give it that life. Now, the next item to sell is by L-Space, or actually the last item to sell on Wednesday. And this brand just really flies out of my stores for me if I price it appropriately. I do see when I look up comps on these pieces for this brand in particular that a lot of people price them like astronomically, and I pretty much price them right where they should be, to where my Nifty can send out an offer and they feel comfortable paying at that offer price. So this is a beautiful white and ivory stripe. It's kind of like a tunic. It has a tie right there. I did see it on the model as a dress, but for me, that's a little too short for comfort, so I would wear it as a tunic, but to each his own, tunic, dress, however someone wants to wear this. I did go ahead and price it on Poshmark for $50, and my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers of $40, and one of those likers did go ahead and purchase it at that price. My fees to Poshmark were $8, and I made a profit of $32. I did purchase that at my favorite, Salvation Army, for $8.99. So to turn $9 into $32, I will happily do any day of the week. So the first item to sell yesterday is by Old Navy, and as you can see, this is a plus size and new with tags, and it's a great style, and those are the three factors of why I picked it up. It is a smocked pull-on stretch waist with like this tiered gauzy bodice. Absolutely love this, and I did actually purchase this in a Whatnot show from Miss Kimmy over on Mama on a Mission. I absolutely love that I can source great items online and have them delivered right to my doorstep. So for all of my Whatnot purchases, I have about $10 cost of goods into each item, so we'll say I have $10 into that, and I priced that on Poshmark for $35. My Nifty sent out a 20% off offer to likers of $28, and one of those likers did counter at $25, which I thought was extremely reasonable, and I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $5, and I doubled my money by making $20. And like I said, for something coming straight to my doorstep, to double my money, I will gladly do. Now, the next item to sell yesterday and the last is by Bella Doll. And I absolutely love this brand. It is not like the most well-known brand, but I do believe it's still great. I think they actually sell this at Nordstrom still. And I just remember the very Y2K Bella Doll pieces where they were really into like the tracksuits like Juicy was. And I thought this was a really unique piece by them. It is a linen blend plaid button down long sleeve. It has this cool raw hem detail. Absolutely love this. I did pick it up at a Salvation Army, I want to say for full price at like $8. So I did price that on eBay for $34.99 plus $7 ship, and I received an offer for $25 plus $7 ship, and I happily accepted that. It cost me $6.17 to ship. I did have it promoted, so those fees were $1.03. My fees to eBay were $4.76, and I turned $8 into $20.04. Now, the first item to sell today that I will show you, because I will not be filming anymore after this, is by Patagonia. And this is 100% organic cotton, like sagey green, really nice long sleeve button down. Actually looks to be in fantastic pre-love condition, maybe worn once or twice. And I just fell in love with this piece. I did pay up for it for about $20 at a thrift store that I don't frequent a lot out by the beach. And they have a little boutique section, and that's where I found that piece. And although I paid $20 for it, I did average my cost of goods that day at about $12. So I am going to stick to that I have $12 into that piece. So I did price this very aggressively on eBay for $59.99 plus $7 ship. And my Nifty sent out an 18% off offer to watchers for $50.62 plus $7 ship. And one of those watchers did accept. It cost me $8.06 to ship. My fees to eBay were $8.19, and I turned $12 or $20, however you want to look at it, into $41.37. So either way, I still made a good profit. Now, I am going to package these up and have my husband ship them off. He is being very generous today and taking care of me. I do have my tea that he has prepared right here that I have been sipping on throughout this video, because honestly, my voice is just shot. You probably can't even tell because I haven't been coughing in this video. I've actually been trying to cut that out as much as possible. But yeah, not that you guys need to know all of my life story, but that is just where I am at right now. I hope to hop back on, I want to say on Monday, and show you guys more sales. So just stay tuned, and I will be back within a few seconds for you, but a few days for me. Hey y'all, it is now Monday, June 22nd, and we left off on Friday, June 19th. And funny enough, I was so under the weather that day, I didn't even realize that the post office was closed. So I couldn't really ship those items out until the next day. But I am doing a lot better today, and I know that the post office is open today. So I am ready to get these items shown to you that sold over the weekend. So when we left off on Friday, I actually had 2 more sales. So that was June 19th. And then on Saturday, June 20th, I had 8 sales. And yesterday, June 21st, Father's Day, Sunday, I had 6 sales. So very excited with all of the sales I've had recently, especially because we are going into summer slowdown, but I am trying to negate that by posting 10 new items per day on each platform, and it seems to be working. Knock on wood. So we'll go ahead and get into Friday's sales. So the first one is by Ex Officio. This is an insect shield brand, and I absolutely love picking this up at the right price, or this brand. This is a really nice collared long sleeve shirt. Absolutely love this. And it is a button down, just a very nice lightweight, like camping, hiking, outdoors shirt. And it does have that insect shield in it, making it a lot more desirable. So I actually got that at a $2.99 Salvation Army sale, and I priced it pretty reasonably on eBay for $24.99 plus $5 ship, and I received an offer of $15 plus $5 ship. I actually got two of the same shirt for $3 at that Salvation Army, and they seem to be new without tags. So because I got them for such a low price and I have had them listed for over a year, I decided to go ahead and accept that offer. It cost me $6.52 to ship. My fees to eBay were $3.05, and I turned $3 into $10.43. Very happy with that, and I still have one more to sell in my inventory. Now, the next and last item to sell on Friday is by Bisu Bisu, and I actually found this at an estate sale, and I probably have like only $1 into it. It is this really cute green corset tank. Absolutely love this, and when I saw it, I just instantly knew I had to pick it up, especially because I only have $1 into it. And it's just so Y2K. It's very on trend for what the girls are looking for nowadays. So I did price it at $27.99 plus $7 ship. A buyer came into my eBay store and used my 19% off coupon, and they paid $22.67 plus $7 ship. It cost me $5.89 to ship. I did have this item promoted, so those fees were 98 cents. My fees to eBay were $4.56, and I turned $1 into $18.24. First item to sell on Saturday is by Tahari, and it is 100% linen. I actually found these at my local Savers for only $8, and that is crazy because they tend to know their brands and their materials. I absolutely love this like olive green khaki color, and they are just so crisp. They're in great condition for being linen. Absolutely love picking up linen pieces, and I knew I could still make a profit even though it wouldn't be the most giant profit. I did price them very reasonably on Poshmark for $25, and my Nifty sent out an offer to likers of 20% off of $20, and one of those likers did counter at $17. I do apologize. My dogs are barking right now. My fees to Poshmark were $3.40. I did accept that $17 offer, and I turned $8 into $13.60. Not the most giant profit, but like I said, I knew I could pick those up and still make a profit, so I decided to pick them up. Now, the next item to sell, or pair of items to sell, is this Crest 3D White Arctic Fresh toothpaste. For those of you new here, I am a couponer, and I get all of my toothpaste and toothbrushes for free couponing. I did price these on eBay at $11.99 plus free ship, and I received an offer of $9.50 plus free ship, which I gladly accepted. It cost me $6.72 to ship. My fees to eBay were $1.72, and I turned free to me items into $1.06. That'll go right back into my couponing fund. And I'm very happy with that because I am going couponing today. Now, this next item to sell is a consignment item from my tennis teammate. They are from Veronica Beard jeans, and contrary to what you might believe, the jeans for Veronica Beard actually don't resell as well as some of her other items do. These are the Sheridan Exaggerated Flare High-Rise jeans. They are in amazing condition, and they have a giant flare at the bottom, which we all know is trending right now. These are absolutely amazing. I'm actually in search of a pair of these in my own size. I'm very inspired. So I priced those higher than comp suggested at $125, and I did it that way so I left a little room to accept offers. And my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers on Poshmark of 100, and one of those likers did counter at 80, and because that's generally where comps were for this exact style and this brand, I did decide to go ahead and accept that. Our fees to Poshmark were $16. My consignee left with $38.40, and I made a profit of $25.60. And those were only listed for about a week or 2 weeks, so very fast turnaround time. This next item that sold is very exciting to me because I just recently sourced it at my favorite Salvation Army. I did pay full price of $8.99, but once I saw it, I immediately knew that I would be able to sell it and sell it quickly. It is by Garnet Hill. It is the most gorgeous smocked tiered midi dress with all of this beautiful crochet detailing. I absolutely love this piece. It is incredible, and it feels like it was never worn. Maybe the tags were taken off and the original owner of it just decided they didn't like it. That's how good it feels. So I did price it very reasonably, and I did so because I wanted to sell and I wanted it to sell quickly. So I priced it at $39.99 plus $10 ship. I did receive a lot of lowball offers on it, but I just declined those and I waited for the right buyer, and I'm happy that I did because one of the buyers on eBay went in and used my 19% off coupon. They paid $32.39 plus $10 ship. It cost me $9.52 to ship. I did have it promoted, so those fees were $1.36. My fees to eBay were $6.15, and I turned $9 into $25.36. I am so happy with that sale, and I hope that the buyer just absolutely loves it and gives it a great new life because it is a fantastic piece. Now, the next item to sell is a lot of two Christian Dior pantyhose. And I think I got these for like $2 each on the RealReal. I was actually purchasing some other items for myself, and I decided to throw those in there to see if I could sell them. I have had them for almost 2 years, so it's been a long time coming, but they finally did sell. I had them priced on eBay for $29.99 plus $5 ship. My Nifty sent out 18% off offers to watchers on eBay of $24.51 plus $5 ship, and one of those watchers did accept that offer. It cost me $6.24 to ship. I did have them promoted, so those fees were 89 cents. My fees to eBay were $4.15, and I turned $4 into $18.23. Definitely something I will not be doing again, and I'm just happy that they finally moved out of my store. Now, the next pair of items I did put in a bundle, and that's how they were purchased. It is by Offline by Aerie. These are coming from my sister. So I have my littlest sister and then my little older sister. Actually, older than my littlest because I am the oldest. Wow, that was a wild story. But one of my sisters, nonetheless, it is this really cute pleated blue athletic skirt. And this one is the same as this one. This one is black. So I decided to lot them up because the comps by themselves weren't that great, but I figured if I could just lot them up, the buyer would think that they're getting a better deal, and really in actuality they are. So I did price them at $40 on Poshmark. My Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers of 32, and one of those likers did accept. Our fees to Poshmark were $6.40. My sister is leaving with $15.60, and I made a profit of $10. And those were just items that she was going to donate anyways, so to get $15 is actually pretty great. The next item to sell is by Bad Birdie. And I actually got this in the same shopping trip as the Garnet Hill midi skirt. So it is this just basic black long sleeve quarter zip. Very minimalist, very basic for generally what they do, but because of the brand and the price, I did decide to pick it up. It was marked at $6.99. I did price it on Depop for $28 and I received an offer of $16.80, and because I love a fast flip, I did decide to go ahead and accept that. It cost me $2.02 to boost this item. My fees to Depop were $1.05, and I doubled my money by making a profit of $13.73. Not the most giant profit, but I absolutely love a fast flip. And I priced it lower so it would flip fast. Now this next item to sell is by TLA, and I really get this mixed up with TNA. So for those of you who don't know, TLA is sold at Anthropologie and then TNA is sold at Aritzia. So big jump, big difference there. And when I got this home, I quickly realized that I made a little mistake, but I did go ahead and list it anyways. It is this like gray and black tie-dye V-neck long sleeve like pleated baby doll hem blouse. A lot of keywords there. And I did realize, like, I did run comps and I realized that the comps were actually pretty decent. So I did price mine a little lower than comp suggested so it would quickly move. And I want to say it took about 4 to 6 months to sell. So I priced it at $28 and I received an offer on Poshmark of $25, which I gladly accepted. My fees to Poshmark were $5 and I made a profit of $20. And I believe I got that for $8 at my local Savers. So again, not the biggest profit, but I am happy to see it move out of my stores. Now, the first item to sell yesterday on Sunday is this pair of Adidas. They are little kids shorts. So this is just like a white and black stripe one. And then just a pair of white shorts. So these are coming from my consignment client who is my tennis teammate. And I'm not going to lie, the comps on these were not good. So what I decided to do is to lot them up like I did with the Aerie skirts that my sister had given me. And I did still price them a little high or competitively at $39.99 plus $10 ship. And to my surprise, within a week, a buyer came into my eBay store and they used my 19% off coupon. They paid $32.39 plus $10 ship. It cost us $6.95 to ship. Our fees to eBay were $6. My consignee left with $17.66, and I made a profit of $11.78. I am very pleasantly surprised that they sold at that price, and it's kind of given me a different outlook on those shorts in particular, but they probably won't be something that I source out in the wild on my own. The next item to sell, I thought I had pulled out of my inventory, but it seems like I haven't. So I am going to move my screen a little bit and put up a screenshot of it right here. It is a consignment item from my aunt, and this brand tends to do better in the dresses. This is a like kind of clay colored ruffle sleeve blouse by Adriana Papel. I did price it because it is new with tags at $25, and I received an offer of $15. Because I thought that was pretty reasonable, I did decide to go ahead and accept that for us, and I ended up giving my aunt a bigger portion of the profit because of that decision. So our fees to Poshmark were $3, and I'm giving my aunt $10, and I'm making a small profit of $2. This was only listed for about 2 to 3 days too, so very happy with that turnaround time. And to be honest, this is a type of piece that is typically sold at TJ Maxx for about $15. So that's also another determining factor of why I accepted such a low offer. So anyways, long story short, that sold and we're happy about it. Now, the next item to sell is actually coming out of my own personal closet, and it is this pair of On Clouds. They are a pink tennis shoe, and these are actually a size 9. And what I have come to realize is that I need a bigger shoe when I'm playing tennis just for comfort's sake. So I did decide, I played in these, I want to say maybe like 2 months. They're still in fantastic use condition, and I priced them at about $120 because they retail for about $200, I believe. And my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers on Poshmark of 96. One of those likers did counter at 80, and because I originally had bought these for myself anyways, and I did get some use out of them, I did decide to go ahead and accept that. My fees to Poshmark were 16, and I made a profit of 64, or I made back $64 of the 200 that I originally paid for them, which is completely fine because sometimes it is trial and error, especially with tennis shoes on the court, or at least in my experience. I feel like I am always throwing disclaimers in my videos for sound or noises in the background, and I do apologize for that. We are going to have a lot more work done at our house, and right now we are focused on the driveway, and I could hear them throwing the giant slabs of cement in the metal flatbed that they have down the drive. So I do apologize if you can hear that. If you can't, fantastic. I didn't even need to say this, but we only have 3 more sales. I'm going to try to get through them as quickly as possible. So the next item to sell is by Fabletics, and this is a pair of black and blue lined athletic shorts for men. I always get these. $5 and under, I will pick these up because they always sell and they sell fast. I actually picked up 4 at my favorite Salvation Army for $5 each, and that is the last one to sell. I've made about $5 to $10 on each pair of shorts. And yeah, that is not the biggest profit, but I know they're going to sell. I know I'm going to make a little profit, so might as well if I'm out and about and I see them. So I did price them on Poshmark for $25, and I received an offer of $19. My Nifty would have sent out a $20 offer, so I did feel pretty comfortable accepting that $19 offer, and I did. My fees to Poshmark were $3.80, and I turned $5 into $15.20. Very, very happy with that. Now, the next item to sell is by Cotopaxi, and I was so shocked to find this at the Goodwill near my parents' house. It was only $8.99, which I thought was fantastic because this brand sells and it sells fast. It is like this mustard and pink color block fleece pullover. Absolutely love this. It is extremely lightweight and just perfect for the outdoors. I have a little fuzz on it. I will go ahead and lint roll that before I send it out. I did price it on Poshmark for $50, and my Nifty sent out 20% off offers to likers of $40. One of those likers did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $8, and I turned $9 into $32. And that sold within a week or 2. Now, the last item to sell is a really fun brand. It is by Carrots, and this is the symbol. So let's see. Yeah, it says Carrots right there. And this is a great equestrian brand. These are a pair of girls pull-on like jockey pants. Absolutely love these. They did have some flaws, so I did have to price them lower than I normally would. I did get these at the Goodwill Los Angeles bins for about $1. But for those of you new here, I do mark all of my children's inventory or items in my inventory at $1 cost of goods. So I did price these on Mercari for $19.99 plus free ship. On Mercari, I do have the auto price drop. So the price was dropped to $13.50 plus free ship, and a buyer came in and purchased them at that price, which I absolutely love. It cost me $6.95 to ship. My fees to Mercari were $1.35, and I turned $1 into $5.20. Definitely not a huge profit, but I did not realize that they were flawed, and I am happy to get about $4 out of those. So those are all of the sales I had over the weekend. I really appreciate you guys being here. For right now, I definitely have to get these packaged up and shipped off. As always, I hope you're having great thrifting, great sales, and until next time, my friends, bye.